Easter coming up. I always love to talk about the resurrection every year because it's the core to my faith as a Christian and the core to Christianity. Did Jesus of Nazareth really rise from the dead? Because if he didn't, it's all useless. Like, there's no point if he didn't rise from the dead. That mean he was not God. He wasn't what he claimed to be. Windy today, but so why do I believe the resurrection? I mean, there's multiple reasons. I mean, besides from just what I've experienced of Jesus in my own life, but like looking to the historical evidence, I've talked about this in my videos, but I'll talk about it again. So scholars, and that includes Christian scholars, atheists, people who are just not Christians in general, overwhelmingly say Jesus of Nazareth existed, and they look at the documentation, the writings that have survived from the first 100 years. And when I say survive, like, the documents from Christians from that time period, which include the Bible, but also like Roman historians, Jewish historians, even enemies of Jesus. What do those documents say about Jesus of Nazareth and his followers? And the overwhelming documents show that the original followers did, and scholars agree. Over 90% of scholars agree that the followers of Jesus did believe he rose from the dead, did believe he was God. And the main meat, which I hang my hat on, is that it is documented that the early Christians were killed for their faith and were persecuted into it. They didn't gain any money. They didn't gain political influence. No, they were hunted. Christianity wasn't made legal in the Roman Empire for almost 300 years after Jesus. So there was no advantage on this planet to becoming a Christian at that time. There was none. And so they would have known it was a lie. This whole thing, Jesus was publicly executed, which is documented not just in the Bible, but in other secular sources from the time period. It was public, and Romans were good at killing people. They would have known if he died. And so they would have just known it was a lie. And so, you don't just got one or two people making this up. You got hundreds of people claiming this guy rose from the dead, and being persecuted. Why would you lie about that if you're gaining absolutely nothing? You're gaining nothing. You become a Christian, you need to start hiding and being careful about who you talk to. The Christians were in a unique, the original followers of Jesus were unique situations where they would have absolutely known whether this person rose from the dead or did not. And I just have a hard time believing that these people would be lying about something that they gained nothing for, and being killed where all they would have to do is deny Jesus and live, and they didn't do that. That's what I hang my hat on. And like I said, that might not be enough for you, but you can look up other stuff about Jesus. But I'm telling you, I think I just have a hard time believing that someone would make all that stuff up if it wasn't true and gain nothing for it.